Afternoon to your lifestyle here on Phuket's Live 89.5. A little bit of In Excess and By My Side, which is quite appropriate because we do have an Australian lady in the studio to have a chat with us here on Lifestyle today between now and 2 o'clock. We're talking all about yoga. Good afternoon, Kim, and welcome to Phuket's Live 89.5.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here.
And it's nice to have you here as well. And just before we go any further, I did say Australian, but you were telling me off mic there's quite a mix-up in your family. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I'm what we call in Australia a bitzer.
A bitzer?
Bits of this and bits of that. But originally, I was born in South Africa.
Were you really?
That's right.
Okay. So it's good to have you here. You're well-renowned in this part of the world for your yoga. We're going to be talking about that very shortly. Let's just find out a little bit about you. How did you get here? Not today, by the way, but how did you end up here in Thailand?
Well, Thailand, I've been to Thailand a few times. I've been here 5 years now, and it's just such a great place. I'm a Buddhist, so it's really lovely being in a Buddhist country and being able to meet so many lovely monks. But, I mean, where else would you want to be? Phuket.
That's true. So what actually brought you here then?
The yoga training, we decided that we wanted to maybe open something here in Thailand where people could come and train meditation and yoga and Tai Chi and like a retreat sort of environment, retreat centre.
Well, you're looking good on it. Obviously, it works for you and your husband. That's pretty cool. Can I just ask you then, I know this is going to sound a really stupid question, but I've only been here 3 months and I know what it's about. But a lot of people might be even frightened about yoga, even in this day and age, and even in this part of the world. What actually is yoga?
Frightened about yoga?
No,
Gosh.
but you understand what I mean.
Well, no, I've heard that quite a few times. There are lots of different ways that you can describe what yoga is, but let's just give you a simple answer. Yoga means union. Now, that could be some hippie way of saying in touch with the inner self, but an everyday way to look at it is for you to be in touch and to be in union with your body, your physical body, your emotions, and your mind, your thought process. So when we talk about the physical body, we sort of try to use yoga postures, asanas is the Sanskrit word for it, and that helps us to have better listening ability to our body and how our body sort of moves and works and which parts sound creaky and which parts, and which parts seem to work and bend in one direction more than the other. And then we use the breath exercises, pranayama and breathing. And the breathing tends to help us get a better control of our thought processes and our feelings, our emotions. Whenever you're stressed out, the first thing someone says to you is take a deep breath, deep breath. So we try to take that deep breath and continue it through with linking with the yoga postures.
Well, one question I've got to ask you, someone like me with non-flexibility at all, I mean, I've seen some of the postures that are done, I've actually seen on your website as well, and other yoga instructors. I wouldn't be able to get back up again if I did that. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, that takes a lot of hard work to get like that, surely. It
does take a lot of hard work to get to the postures where your foot's behind your head, but not everyone wants to be a contortionist or a yogi.
Good.
There are, I like to say in my classes, Rome wasn't built in a day, but you've got to start. So we really concentrate on just opening up the everyday body, sort of like shaking a blanket or whatnot. We bend it forward, we bend it backwards, we twist it to the side, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and Bob's your uncle.
Hopefully.
But everyone has to start somewhere, and it doesn't have to be standing on one hand with your foot behind your head.
How long have you been doing yoga then?
Well, I've been doing yoga since I was 3 years old. So
really?
Yeah. I'm an abnormal case.
Wow, 3 years old. That's unbelievable. I mean, obviously that's run from family tradition as well.
Well, it's a bit of a story. I was born with some issues with my legs and my hips. And the doctors said that I'd be in a wheelchair by the time I was 25. And I used to wear these funny little stirrups, some like Forrest, like run, Forrest, run.
Of course, yeah.
So my mum got me into yoga basically to keep my body supple and also strong. And it stuck with me. And I've just been doing it my whole life and never did I think, even at 15 when I started teaching yoga just for some pocket money at my school, did I think that this would be my career? Because yoga was what old ladies taught at the Hired Girl Guide Hall back in the day.
It's fashionable now, though, isn't it?
It certainly is. Times have changed.
Right, we'll talk a little bit more with Kim, and we'll talk about yoga, how you can get involved with it, and what she's doing these days here in Phuket.
Live 89.5. It's where you live.
On a daily basis between 1 and 2, we bring a guest in the studio to have a little bit of a chin wag with us. And today, great delight to bring Kim into the studio talking all about yoga, and we're just talking off air about that particular song, Denise Williams, Let's Hear It for the Boy. For the boy, in your case, it's your brother, isn't it?
Yes, that song reminds me of my brother dancing around the living room.
To the original film version.
To the original film version, yes.
Footloose, featuring Kevin Bacon. They brought out a remake not so long ago.
I did see that.
What do you think of it? Be honest. Film critic Kim, tell us.
Well, you know, I think they did well, but nothing beats the original.
Nah, absolutely right. I agree with you. Right, we're going to talk about yoga now, moving away from
Excellent.
films. We were just talking before about... before we go any further, while the news was on, you had a bit of a phone call aimed for you. So tell us a little bit more.
I want to say hello to Diana and Tuk from Rawai Muay Thai. They gave a call through to the station to say hello, and hello back. I've just actually come from there. I taught their class there today. So hello to all of the lovely Muay Thais students.
They'll be very embarrassed now because you mentioned them on the radio, but that's the way it works. So we're talking about it was difficult for you to sort of start of life, and then you obviously got the opportunity to do yoga from the age of 3 thanks to the goodness of your mum. Yeah, amazing story there. But then you obviously wanted to sort of progress a little bit further.
Yeah.
So how difficult is it to become a teacher stroke instructor in yoga?
Well, that's a double-edged answer. It isn't that hard these days to find yoga teacher training certificates or courses that will give you an accreditation. But to become a proper yoga teacher that has the right knowledge to basically have students put their bodies in your hands is a little bit harder. I just think that you need to have a little of a background experience and a little personal practice first before you go in to become a yoga teacher. I would say at least 5 years of your own personal practice before you think about coming on to be a yoga teacher.
You were influenced by your own personal experience, though, weren't you?
I was influenced by my own personal experience, but, you know, I found a teacher and trained with my teacher for 3 years straight through, and I completely trusted them, put my life in his hands, my body in his hands, and I've met lots of other teachers that I would have no qualms in, you know, putting my body in their hands. You've got to be able to trust them, and I think that's where it comes down to, is the trust, and seeing whether the life that they portray is the life that you would also want.
Are you still learning? I mean, are there things to add to what you know already, do you think?
Oh, yeah. You always keep on learning. If you're not learning, you're not doing it right.
Okay. And in this particular business that you're in, it seems to be very, very fashionable these days. I'm not trying to dilute it. I'm just saying it's very, very fashionable. Are there many people out there who don't have the qualifications that they should have and are conducting business?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, there are people out there that are probably not as qualified as they should be in the yoga industry. There's lots of other industries as well, but I'm hoping and I'm confident that the good yoga instructors and the qualified yoga instructors will shine through in the end. I mean, you can't beat quality over, you know, quantity.
Absolutely, especially here as well, because it's very word of mouth and people reputation
right.
precedes you as well, which I know you've got a very good reputation here.
Oh,
so I'll tell you what, we'll talk a little bit more about that here on Phuket's Live 89.5.
Live 89.5, your island, your station.
Phuket's Live 89.5, Steve here on Lifestyle through until 3 o'clock this afternoon. First, last and everything on the way at 2:33 belters as chosen by you. In this hour, we like to bring somebody into the studio to have a little chat, and I can tell you I'm really getting into this yoga feel now. I'm getting the vibe of it, big time. I still don't think I'll be any good at it, but Kim's been here in the studio talking all about yoga, and we were talking then about, just before the break, about you and actually becoming an instructor yourself. Do people come to you to train to be instructors as well?
They can come to me to become an instructor, but I was telling Steve, a bit of a Nazi. I'm a yoga Nazi. So it's always by audition process with me, and then it's a long process, about 2-3 years.
2 or 3 years. So
Yeah.
you've heard it there. If you want to be involved, 2 or 3 years of hard toil. G.I.
That's
Jane's
right.
got nothing on you, I can tell you.
Nothing.
So let me just bring us up to date with what you're doing, because you're a very busy girl, and you were telling us off mic there that you've got other things developing as we speak. Tell us a little bit about what Kim White is doing right now.
What am I doing right now? Well, I'm starting back with my classes next week at Sala Sudavasa, which is in Naihan Rawai. And in a couple of weeks' time, we'll actually have started kids' yoga classes and prenatal yoga classes in a different location just off of Soisaiwan there. So it's all yoga, meditation, yoga nidra, all of the things that make your mind and body healthy and happy. But we've got meditation classes, yoga classes, tai chi classes, qigong classes, and relaxation classes all going on.
Yoga for kids, is that new for this area? Because it's been going for quite a while, isn't it?
It is sort of new for this area. I have been doing various classes around some of the kindergartens and some of the schools, and I know that there's, I think, another lady that's doing some yoga kids classes, but yeah, it is relatively new, and it's super fun. It's really, the first time I did it, I thought, oh God, I'm really not going to be able to manage this.
Then you had to think back of your own experience, really.
Yeah, but it worked for me, and it's a really cool experience for me to just be stupid and silly with the kids for about 45 minutes. And it's a cool way of going through a yoga jungle journey. We see the lions, we see the giraffes, we see everything, and the kids just love it. They really love it.
I think I'll go to that one to start with then.
Yeah.
sounds like my kind of class.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Website then. What's your website here?
www.sudavasa.com, SUDDHAVASA, or if you just want to know about me, it's mindbodyyogasystem.com.
It's been great speaking to you today, Kim. Thank you very much indeed for being in here with us. And you've talked me into it. I'll give it a go, but I can tell you, you'll have your work cut out in 3 years, 3 decades with me to try.
Oh, before I forget, can I just mention something?
You can.
You've got to check out the Phuket News newspaper every month. We do a yoga article, and I think I've got one coming out in about 2 weeks' time. And this is a special one. It's called Going with the Flow, and I'm going to put together all of the postures that I've done over the last couple of months and put them into a nice little set for you.
I'll have a go at that then, when no one's
Excellent,
looking,
Steve.
on my own. Okay?
Go with